Hi, friends. I'm your host, Dr. Elizabeth Ssemanda, the intuitive psychiatrist, and you're listening to Stepping into Soul Power. Friends, there's war and we are going through it. The loss, the grief. There are moments right now where we're being brought to our knees and wondering, how are we going to get through this? What do we do? And next guest, she is a energy healer. She's a chiropractor. She's a blues singer and spent over 35 years studying the places where the body and spirit and soul come together. She had lost a child in stillbirth and was able to transform that experience, grow from that experience, and now she helps other people walk through grief to grace. Dr. Tanya English. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be here with you.
Yeah. So for our listeners that are new to you, can you tell us a little bit about that journey? How you got to the point where you are really helping shift the way people experience and process grief?
Like you said, back, and this is in 1994, I was finishing up chiropractic college, which is after I did an undergraduate degree, after I went to massage school, after I'd been in practice for a while. I said, well, I just want to do chiropractic as well. I think that'll really help. At the end of my time there, I was pregnant with my first child, and I was 33 and going through pregnancy that was great. And then it worked out that he didn't make it. And it was really just being there in the hospital, and a voice came to me and said, "Do you really believe that everything happens to the highest good? Or do you just say that?" And I thought, okay, so this is where the choice comes in. I can choose to believe that, or I can choose to not believe that. And I went down that road for about 10 minutes and I thought, that's no good. I'm not going in that direction.
Mhm.
And I said, no, I'm going to believe that everything happens to the highest good. So show me the good. Show me what's good about this. Show me where there's something in here that is adding to me, that's supporting me. And to my left was my husband, who was helping me breathe because they had over medicated me and I would exhale and not inhale. So he'd say,
Wow.
take a breath, baby. And I would breathe. And my sister-in-law, I call her, she was my sister-in-law. She was a nurse and she helped me push. And it was a really uh, intense experience. And to hold him and name him, and we dedicated him to God. And just to be in that whole experience and not wanting to let go of him, but knowing that he was going to have to leave me was very difficult, obviously. I mean, nobody wants their baby taken away from them.
Yeah.
And I had to really think about how I was going to approach this in my life. I was a healer. I was doing healing. I was helping people heal. So when I say I'm a healer, I don't mean that I'm doing the healing for people. I mean, I'm like the healer GPS. I tell
Mhm.
you which direction to go, where this can happen, and turn right, turn left, do this, and help people get to their own healing, because I can't do the healing for anybody. We have to do our own healing.
Oh, I
And
like that.
so that's why I say I'm a healer. I'm not doing the healing. I'm the healer GPS. And and in that situation, my confidence went completely down, because here I was trying to have a baby, a natural thing, and it didn't happen. I'm also working with other people to help me have a great pregnancy, and that was great. But then when push came to shove, literally, that didn't happen. And there were people around us that were blaming others for this happening. And we decided we were not going to blame anybody, because life and death happens. And we had to explain this to my husband's two little daughters who were waiting for their baby brother to come. So
That's
how do you
such
explain this to a 5 and a 6-year-old? What do you say?
and that's a great question. What I mean, what do you say?
Well, what we said was, everybody dies. We're all going to do it. And it's okay. And if it wasn't okay, there would be people who didn't do it.
Yeah.
They also knew about Jesus. So they understood death isn't the end. There's
Mhm.
more. To whatever degree that age can do that. But we said some people die when they're sick, some people die when they're old, some people die in an accident, some people die because they're just done. And he fulfilled his mission very quickly.
Mm.
And so our son, Edward Oliver, fulfilled his mission in 9 months, 9 months and 10 days. And so that's the way we looked at it. He came to bring us together, and the
Yeah.
situation that we were in melded us. So we can't break apart. In fact, I gave my husband this as a gift one year, and I have a couple things attached to it. But this is a tag. It's called a tag, and it's
Yeah.
two pieces of copper that are melted together, and it's stronger than either one of them would have been separately.
Wow,
So it's us. We'll see
wow.
soul in the heart.
That's so beautiful because people have different experiences when, especially when a child dies, and you somehow your family came together, but there are people who like they separate after
Mhm.
after that,
Yeah, they do.
and
And the
and so
first thing that I saw when we were looking at the ultrasound, because we were trying to have the baby at home, we went to the hospital, and the they put us on ultrasound right away, and we could see that his heart wasn't moving. We
jeez,
both could see that. We knew right
yeah,
away. And I looked at my husband and I said, "Are we okay?" And he said, "Yes, we're okay." And he knew what I meant when I said that. Like, this isn't gonna separate us. We're
yes,
together. And
yeah,
he said, "Yes, we're okay." And then I could go through with what I had to go through to be able to bring the baby out into the world. Just being able to have that knowledge that we were really okay, that nothing was gonna separate us. We were having our own separate experiences of it,
mhm,
but we were coming together all the time, and it was, like, beyond words. So, at one point, after we'd come home, I was taking a shower, and I could feel myself starting to faint, and he walked into the bathroom and caught me.
oh wow,
I didn't call out or anything, he just could feel. So,
yeah.
we're very connected.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. Yeah,
It
we were like love at first sight, pretty much.
oh, what so this was meant to be. This
Yeah, it really was, and, because of Edward Oliver, who we called Eddie-O for short, Eddie-O, um, we we really felt like this is a really good opportunity that's being placed before us. Nobody wants to join this club, but
yeah,
20,000 people a year do, and that's 1 in every 175 births, and it's something that happens, and people shove it under the rug, and people
absolutely.
have asked me, like, "Did you hold your baby?" Yes, we held him, we dressed him. My husband bathed him. We had time with him, and when you take something like that away from a woman who's just given birth, you're damaging her, and so to be able to have that time with him, yes, it was short, and no, he wasn't able to see me, but I saw him, and I held him. And after we came home, I had a buckwheat hull pillow that I would hold occasionally to help feel that weight in my arms. There's all kinds of stages that you go through with something like this. Like, then my milk came in. Oh, there's another thing. But our neighbor who had come over to see the baby, and I had to tell her he didn't make it, watch your face fall, had brought me a plant of sage. And it turns out if you chew, raw sage leaves, living sage leaves, it dries your milk up. She didn't know that.
Hey, someone's looking out for you.
Exactly. Exactly. It's really true. I feel like okay, so this was a big deal. I had to think about, like, why is this happening? This would be the first question that I asked myself. What did I do? First of all, the what ifs, those
Mm.
all come. That's not helpful because you can't change the past. You have to deal with the present and the future. The past is already done. So what ifs don't really help. And you have to, well, for me, I had to decide, is this going to bring me down or am I going to persevere? And I decided persevering was the best course of action. And I asked God, put me wherever I need to be for healing. I don't care where it is. And we ended up that summer at the Mississippi Valley Blues Fest. And I went into the tent stage to see the Blind Boys of Alabama sing because I'd always wanted to see them. And I had a healing in that experience. And I felt waves and waves of love flowing through me, going around me. It was just an amazing experience all the way around. And when I met my husband a little bit after that, we were at separate stages, and he looked at me and he's like, "You're different. What, are you okay?" And I said, "Yes, I am really okay." He said it was like when Moses comes down from the mountain and his hair's turned white. He goes, "You were different."
Yeah, it looks music cracks something open,
Vibration. Yeah.
for some, for people listening who haven't really explored music or sound as a healing portal, what would you invite them to try? Like, what's a good first step?
Well, I just think, most people want to listen to some sad songs when they go through a breakup. That's why, because it's helping them heal. It's helping them experience their feelings in a really safe way, in a really beautiful way. So the the way that you can start is listen to your favorite music or turn on the radio if you still do that or go to YouTube, whatever. And pick something that has words in it that you respond to. There was a really great song by Judy Gold called From a Distance that was popular when I was going through this. And when I hear that song, it puts me right back there. And because that sense memory is so connected. It's like smell, smell is a very good catalyst for a memory that you have. So when I smell toast and coffee together, I'm at my grandmother's house.
Mm,
It's, you have that. It's the same thing with music. And it doesn't matter what music it is as long as it's positive, as long as it's growing on you. There's some music that's not going to be that helpful. It's going to agitate you more.
yeah.
But I started singing blues later, like about 25 years later, I started singing and started my band and ended up playing at the Mississippi Valley Blues Fest myself in the tent stage,
Wow. So it came
delivering
full circle.
big full circle there. And I'm also friends with a couple of the guys in the Blind Boys who were there at that performance in 1994, Chuck and Ricky. And Ricky's still singing and Chuck's the road manager. And they were like, "Yeah, we were there. We remember that." They don't remember me. They remember that performance.
Mm.
And so I kind of think of them as my godfathers because they helped me heal so much.
Wow.
So
Wow.
when you open your mind to, like, being able to do healing yourself and ask for what you want, which is very important, ask for healing. And when it's offered to you, take it. And when you're going through that, it's so important for you to just go for it. Just say yes.
What do you think keeps people, because you made a really good point. People can give stuff to you, people can offer. Um, what keeps people from saying yes?
I think a lot of times people think they're supposed to be strong and that strength is means you do it all by yourself, but it takes a village to not only raise a child, but it takes a village to be a village. You have to rely on others. It ha-
It takes a village to be a village.
yeah, you have to
But
you
I
have to
like it. I
you
like
have to
it.
let people in. You have to be able to do that. people are going to say things that are terribly inappropriate, and you have to just let it go because they don't know what to say. Most people don't know what to say. I had a friend who, when had the memorial for our son, she brought a balloon that said, "It's a boy." And I've saved that balloon. I have it still. And what happened when I saw that was like somebody recognized that we had a baby, that we
Yes.
actually had him. He was there. Instead of just mourning his death and wondering how are they going to get through this, it was like a celebration of who he was to us. And we had everybody go outside and blow bubbles afterwards and think about where that bubble could go. And instead of having a lot of sadness around it, it was a more uplifting experience for people, in my opinion, I guess. But it's what it's done for me is help me understand that the greatest tragedy that you have is also an endless well of blessings. You can
Mm,
sit in your stuff and you can experience it. And I recommend that you feel all the feelings and don't worry about it dissolving. A lot of people think that healing grief is all about talking about it, and it's not all about talking about it. There's also some other things that you can do.
yes.
Energetically, it's really important to do those things.
So can you talk about that? Like what energetically, what are you supposed to be doing?
Well, it's different for everybody, but there's some tools that I teach people to help them get through those times when they're feeling overwhelmed with grief, because you can be in the grocery store and it just hits you. Um, and so what I teach is 4 count breathing. I've been teaching that for 30 something years. And it's just breathing in for 4 counts, holding it for 4 counts, exhaling through your nose for 4 counts, and breathing out and holding it out for 4 counts. So it's in, hold, out, hold to get
Wow.
your nervous system to calm down, because we need to balance the nervous system all the time. We need to regulate, and that helps us to move through things and not ignore them. So you're not avoiding the feeling, you're just helping yourself move through it. So that's one thing that you can do. I also teach emotional freedom technique to my clients and patients that
Yes.
ask for it, that want it, that need it. And so we do different things with tapping. So that emotional freedom technique is the tapping technique. And what you're doing there is you're regulating your nervous system, you're regulating your energy flow, because every place where you tap is an acupuncture point. And so
Yes.
you're tapping on all the main acupuncture points that there are. And as you do that, it brings your system down to neutral so that you're not having these intense highs and lows. And that's really, really helpful. I also teach people how to just pray for themselves, because a lot of times people don't pray for themselves. And so we, they pray for everybody else, but not for me. And listen, you gotta put yourself first at some point. And why wouldn't you do it when you're going through something like that? You are the one that's experiencing it. If you wanna get more out of it, because I believe grief is a doorway to deeper healing.
Mm,
It doesn't happen so that you'll ignore it. That's where the problems come in. It happens so you have an opportunity here to walk through that door and receive all the healing and all the joy that's actually in there. So that's why I would say count it all joy. How are you
yes.
gonna count it all joy if you're thinking about what a victim you are? You can't think like that. I mean, people do. Yeah, of course, because you're having this terrible thing happen. It's awful, but you can't stay there. I went to a support group. My husband and I went to the support group at the hospital. One time, we saw people who've been going to that group for 7 years. They
Wow.
had not moved on. There were people in that group that were throwing themselves on their baby's grave with their toddler next to them.
Uh-oh.
It's not healthy to do that. You have to move on. Time is gonna go on, and time doesn't heal all wounds. It will scab them over, but unless you take action, you can't heal it.
I see. So making the decision to take the opportunity to walk through it rather than
Absolutely.
avoid it.
I'll say this, we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, we don't pitch a tent and live there.
Ah! Okay.
My
Oh,
father-in-law was a pastor, so that was one of
um,
his sermons. Yeah,
I wonder, in your opinion, if grief could speak, if it could look a person in the eye and tell them what they need, what they truly needed from that person, what do you think it would say?
I love you, always. I love you. Because grief is the imprint of where love has been.
Oh,
That's a
that's
writer downer.
oh, I love it. I mean, I just, yeah,
It
yeah.
it really is. It doesn't matter if it's the death of a baby or your best friend moved away when you were 5. It's still grief. It still hurts, and it still means that there was love there. So
Ugh,
when we concentrate our attention on the love, it's also a focus situation. Where are you going to focus your attention? Are you going to focus it on the loss? Or are you going to focus it on the love that was there?
yeah.
You get to choose. You have free will. What are you going to choose? And you have to choose it maybe every other minute when you're fresh in grief. And that's okay. It's
I,
okay.
I wonder because I think sometimes you're not in the midst of it. Sometimes it's someone that you care about
Right.
deeply who is grieving. What acts have you recommended that might be helpful for people who are watching others go through grief?
Well, let them talk. Don't tell them that they're not ready to talk. Don't shut them down. Encourage them to talk about their loved one. Encourage them to talk about what they miss. Encourage them to talk about the love parts of it. If they're stuck on how it's so unfair, tell them this is not a hamburger. Unfair is paying $12 for a hamburger. This is not fair or not fair, right? It's not fair or not fair. It's life and death.
Yes.
Big difference. So we need to treat it as if it's a sacred thing because it is when someone passes. We know that there is a change in the energy in a room when a person dies.
Yeah.
We know that. That's scientifically proven. It doesn't mean they disappear forever. It means that the vessel that held them, the body, is done. And that's okay. But we have to remember what the spirit of that person is. And if you're not religious, that's okay. You don't have to have religion, but you have to base it on something. There are a lot of people who are atheists too. They don't
Mhm.
believe in God or they don't believe in a higher power or any of that. They still get through it somehow. I don't, but they still get through it. It's because we all have grace and we can tap into it at any time. That healing experience I've had it again in other places. And it's just that recognition and that alignment with the fact that love is always there for us.
Mm.
And all we have to do is put ourselves in the way of it and line up with it, and then you'll feel it. It's happened to me in other different places, and it doesn't have to be like some fabulous place like Sedona. It happened to me in Sedona as well. Doesn't have to be there. It could happen on your back porch. It happened to me there. It happened to me at the ocean. It happened to me lots of different times, and it usually has something to do with nature. Because those blind boys, they're a natural amazement, a natural miracle. Those guys. One of my good friend Gloria Hardiman, Alligator Records recording artist, was best friends with the last original blind boy. His name was Jimmy Carter, not the president, and he was nearby and they were talking and she said, I want you to meet my friend Tanya, who's been to your concert and had this experience. And he said, I definitely want to meet her. So I ended up having dinner with them before a show when they were nearby. And it was just an amazing experience to be around them, and I've met them many times after that, and just to see the amount of love that they have for each other and for what they're doing is really beautiful. And that's what blues does, man, too. That's good. They sing mostly gospel, but they do have some blues tunes in there. I can't sing gospel because I cry when I sing a hymn. I cannot sing
Really?
and cry at the same time.
Oh,
It's very difficult, but blues I can sing. I do sing a couple of really sad tunes, but it's it's cathartic to be able to do that. It's
oh,
healing. So I encourage people to let their voice out. Even if you think you sing badly, you can still sing.
I like that. I like that. Even if you think you sing badly, you can still sing.
Absolutely, you can. Maybe you can't carry a tune in a bucket, but you can string words together and
Oh,
kind of sing it a little bit. And
okay.
also think about what you're doing with opening your throat chakra, which is speaking truth to power.
I love it. And, I'll just add something. And when you sing, when you hum, when I it actually activates the parasympathetic nervous system.
It does. It does.
So, it's,
Which, if you don't know, parasympathetic nervous system is rest, digest, and heal. The opposite is the sympathetic, which is fight or flight or freeze. So that humming. Mm.
huh? Are we getting a sample? Can we get a can we
Yeah,
get
I'll sing you a little bit.
okay.
Worried blues, worried blues, give me your right hand. Worried blues, worried blues, give me your right hand. 'Cause I can sing my song, and I sure don't need no band.
Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
This is such a treat.
I'm
This
glad you think so.
oh, yeah, yeah, oh,
So I had another son, by the way, just so you know. I did have another son. He's about 30. He just turned 30 in February. He's a musician. He's a construction person. He does all kinds of cool stuff like that. And he used to put his hand over my mouth and go, "Mimi, don't sing." I showed him.
well, we appreciate your beautiful voice. I know you've done quite a bit on in the grief world and even written a book. I wonder if you could speak to that, like, oh, 20
There's the book. I'm chapter 20. So my name isn't on the front cover. It's on the back cover. But I'm chapter 18 in this book, 20 Shades of Grief. And my whole story is in that book, is in that chapter. It's lots of different stories of grief of people going through it and how they did. And there's also, I have a gift in there for people of the 7 lessons I learned from my greatest heartbreak, which if you want that, you can get in touch with me and send me a message. I'm on Instagram at Dr. Tanya English or Facebook, um, Tanya R. English on Facebook because they don't want you to put your doctor name on there. So we
Okay.
want to talk about like how do you get through it? And those 7 lessons are how you get through it. And we've talked about some of them already today. Asking for help, receiving help when it's being given. Let people help you. And then remember that people are going to say awful things and you just have to let it go. And unless you're ready to teach them, which most people aren't when they're in grief.
Yeah. Being able to kind of brush aside some of the things that people say and just as you want grace, give them grace. Mhm.
Yeah, they don't know. People don't study it, and it's not in this culture, we don't talk about it. It's starting to happen more and more because there's all these grief groups that you go to and all different organizations that are experiencing that help you experience it. But I think what I do that's different from that is we don't talk about it so much as we do to heal it. So when we're healing, we can go there, but we end up at a better place. So we might start out low and we leave feeling more and more neutral and more hopeful about life because That's our natural inclination
Yes.
as human beings.
To be more hopeful about life. I like that. And I think um I love all the you talked about a couple different it's like you use breath work, you use emotion freedom technique like energy psychology, and
Mhm.
then also just the power of prayer. Like prayer is
This is a
woo,
big
potent.
deal. Yeah, and we can close with a prayer, but I also do a lot of other techniques that are always working on the root cause. As a chiropractor, we want to find the root cause. Now, I've gone beyond moving bones. I don't do any forceful adjusting. I use an activator to adjust. It's a handheld instrument that delivers an adjustment really fast. So people don't have to be twisted and pounced on and all that. What what the other part of that is it's great to go from the outside in, but let's go to the inside out, and that's our subconscious. So I work with many techniques that work on subconscious emotional memories that override present time. I'll say that again. Subconscious emotional memories that override present time. And a really short way to say that is a trigger. That's what a trigger is. It's a subconscious emotional memory that's overriding what's really happening in present. So having a different reaction that's out of what it's not, it doesn't fit with what's happening in the now, that's because it's a trigger. It's something that happened in the past and it's being triggered and now it's happening again. So we want to remove those or neutralize them. I mean, I'm not going in and pulling things out, but we can neutralize them. And there's techniques that I do like bioenergetic synchronization technique and map technique, which is a really great, elegant technique that we love. And it changes how you think. And when see a technique that changes how you think, that's the technique I want to do because
Mm.
that's what's causing all the problems. It's up here.
Yeah, it's our beliefs. Our beliefs can make us or break us.
And
And
it's not just beliefs that we decide to believe. It's beliefs that are taught to us from a
yeah,
very early age. It's predispositions. How do I get through this? How do I get fed and nurtured? I have to do what they tell me. So I better be quiet or I better not be happy or I better, right? So these are all things that coping coping mechanisms that we work out when we're too young to know what that even means.
mm,
And so we get ingrained with these ideas, and they're very hard to break if you're trying to do it as a habit from the outside. But when we go
exactly.
into the subconscious, so much easier,
Yeah.
so much freer. Really cool.
Love it, love it, love it. Dr. Tanya English, blues singer, chiropractor, energy healer, keeper of treasure in the dark places. Where can our community find you and continue this journey with you?
I'm all over the place. So I'm on YouTube, Dr. Tanya English. I'm on Instagram as Dr. Tanya English and also Healing with the Blues. My website is quantumhealinginternational.com, quantumhealinginternational.com. Also, I have a website, healingwiththeblues.com. That's where our band is on that. And there's a little bit of the story there of what we went through. Um, all of those places are available to you to hit me up. Let's get working. Let's clear up those misconceptions that we've had since we were little tiny tiny babies and be free because that's where the peace comes from.
Love it. Love it. Thank you so much, Dr. Tanya English, for being on the show.
Thanks for having me, Elizabeth. I really appreciate it.
If you haven't heard it yet today, I appreciate you. The soul in me honors the soul in you. If you'd like to see more episodes like this, please subscribe or click here. And friends, if this spoke to you, leave a comment below. We would love to hear from you.